How does it feel the second time around to get this kind of recognition, not just from the Academy, but from all kinds of groups and things now?
It's beautiful, man. I mean, it's just nice to be recognized by your peers, by people that watch cinema. That's just a nice feeling. And then also it's just amazing that it's on a film like this. More people are going to watch Judas and the Black Messiah, and taking Chairman Fred and the Black Panther Party and what they stand for and what they actually did in Chicago and across the country.
It's not a question of violence or non-violence. It's a question of resistance to fascism or non-existence within fascism. You can murder a liberator, but you can't murder liberation. You can murder a revolutionary, but you can't murder revolution. And you can murder a freedom fighter, but you can't murder freedom. I said, hey, a revolutionary. Hey, a revolutionary. Hey,
oddly enough, Fred Hampton is in not just one movie this year, but two. He's in the Trial of the Chicago Seven in a small way in that movie, but in a very large way here. What did you know about him and the Black Panthers when this was offered to you?
I knew minimal amount of Chairman Fred Hampton. I knew about knew what he stood for, and I remember I was at a place and I saw the date he was born and the date he was assassinated, and I was like, that's not right. I was like, that can't be right. I was like, what? How old was he? I was like, how old is he? That's a wrong. I was convinced it was a typo. Then I did my Googles there on the spot, and I was like, he was 21. Not only did they assassinate him at 21, but he made it to chairman by 21, and that just blew my mind. And so I knew that I was like, oh, later on in life, I'll take a deep dive into Chairman Fred. And I knew quite a bit about the Black Panther Party and the ideology that had arrived to me, just being like a young Black man navigating the Western society. So I took in a lot of stuff.
How did his family help you? Because you had the advantage here of having his mother and his son, consulting or being available, I guess.
Yeah, it was amazing that they came in to like get us in line. You know what I mean? Get us more aligned to the truth. They a lot of discrepancies that were in the script before was taken out because they were there and saying X and Y and Z, that didn't happen, that this had happened. It allowed it for the piece to be richer in truth. So, it was amazing to just partner up with them, and like, I remember there was one day where they took us to the side during lunch break, and there was like a political education class led by Chairman Fred Jr. And that was just so important to kind of reactivate why we're here.
Certainly at the time, they wanted to paint him in one way, and that would be the record of Fred Hampton. Except history is now showing other things, the incredible things that he started, even at such a young age, that are really amazing and good, but seen through the lens now 50 years later. That's what a movie can do.
Yeah, I mean, it just tells you that what he was doing, like free medical care, education for kids, breakfast for kids, with the Rainbow Coalition, uniting the oppressed from different communities, especially the white community, and finding points of interest, even though they were in conflict with them, but not in sacrifice of loving Blackness and loving the Black community. That's like, you don't even see that now. Yeah. So he was thinking a very different frequency.
I think so many people think of you as American. We've seen you do so many American accents in different movies and things, and they're all different. And I would think that's a tremendous challenge. How do you dive into something like this and get it just right?
It's all about the intention, and like what was the purpose of this? And I felt like I wanted to be a vessel for Chairman Fred, and allow his words and allow his messages to come through me. And then when you sit in that position, you then do whatever it takes for you to hear and to channel that spirit. And yeah, I kind of just worked with my amazing dialect coach, Audrey Lacrone, day in, day out. Dialects, did I did opera classes in order to study cadence and to strengthen my vocal cords and engage my diaphragm, because those speeches, I'm doing it for like 12 hours, which is like, it's the vocal cords, it's like any muscle, you know, it's like any muscle is going to get tired, and it needs to be strong so I can speak the next day. You know, if I didn't condition it, I would have probably done permanent damage, because how taxing those scenes are if you're doing it the whole day and doing all those takes. And then you know, going to Chicago, going to Maywood, going to Chairman Fred's old homes, old schools, speaking to the people out there, speaking to understanding what he means, and just understanding it in that kind of sense, and allowing it to enrich when you're on set, and then you could just allow things to come through. I saw the speeches as a talking version of singing, as opposed to the singing version of talking. So when you're operating like that, it's like, it was like that's why I would go to opera classes and I would sing James Brown, I'd sing gospel songs, I would sing songs that felt like the attitude that I was reaching for, you know, and access my head voice, access these different parts of my voice that I hadn't accessed for a long time, because I hadn't sang since I was a little kid. So and then when I saw the speeches as songs, I would realize, oh, that's why it was resonating with me, because there was a tune to it. And I just engaged it with like a singer would.
So what did you personally take from this experience of doing this story at this time?
I think it's the one that's taught me the most about myself. I think it's the one that I've had to grow the most in terms of my personally and professionally, you know. I had to really think outside the box, and then just realize what is a box, you know, and then move from that space. And yeah, so it challenged me in the ways that I really want to be challenged. You know, as in any profession, any craft, you want to. I want to keep growing.
What was it about Get Out, speaking of that movie, that just hit the zeitgeist, that really struck a nerve? Did you know that when you were making that movie that it would have that kind of effect?
No. I think I knew it wouldn't be quiet, because certain scenes and certain imagery, I was like, this isn't going to be quiet. However, the zeitgeist is it has nothing to do with you. It's about the time, it's about the environment, and whether I think we're just here to tell the truth. And sometimes you tell the truth and people resonate with you, and sometimes you tell the truth and the time isn't ready. And like an example is like, I don't know, something like American Psycho. I wasn't really conscious at that time when it came out, but what I heard is that people didn't really understand it when it came out, and it had a bigger life after it, you know. And that's just the time changed, you know. And then I feel like in Get Out, when we filmed it, if we released it at the time we filmed it, it wouldn't resonate as much as when we released it, because the society and life shifted. So just all we can do is tell the truth, and then everything else sorts itself out.
In many of the movies you've done, you are working with Black directors. Is that important to you? How important is that?
Whatever helps the truth. I think it's a challenging question to really sink myself into, because if I don't see their Blackness as otherness. I just don't see it that way. I would see the way Timothy Chalamet sees his directors. And so I move like that. So I go, wow, this stuff resonates with me. This speaks to me. And this person, the reasons that they're doing this speaks to me. And we're aligned in that sense. And then we're Black, yeah. Right? Do you know what I'm saying? And so I just move in that path, you know. I don't really, if I saw it that way, I wouldn't do it.
Did you always want to be an actor? I heard you wrote your first play when you were like 9 years old or something.
No, I wanted to be a footballer first.
Yeah.
And then by football, yeah, by like 11, you just know you're not going to make it. It's really an interesting thing. You're like, no, it's not going to happen. And then you kind of go like, that goes away. Thought about being a taxi driver. Did think about that for a bit. I thought that would look fun. And then acting. But acting, I got into acting. I was really blessed. I didn't really think of life past 14. Whatever happened, I just saw it as a bonus. And I just went with how I felt at that moment. I feel like if I had expectations, I wouldn't be sitting here talking to you. I think because my environment was too limited for me to go, yeah, this, I want that. I wouldn't have been caught that idea. So I was really blessed that I was just present And I was like, I'm doing this right now. I'm going to keep doing this. And I just moved forward.
I remember you from a television show, Skins.
Yeah, Skins.
Yeah, which got here too. I mean, it sort of went universal. How was that? How was doing that?
That was amazing, man. It's like, that was like our university. That was like it's amazing to be 17, acting in a show, writing in a show, and just having fun. There was no pressure of it being a success. And then it became a success. And then we were just enjoying it, being young people, like being young people, and just having fun, working and making money, like not massive money, but making hardly any money, but it's like really amazing to kind of have that experience. And I feel like a lot of the stuff I navigate in my career and the decisions I make are born from being in that writer's room and listening to those writers and understanding how they think and understand how they see story.
It's cool. Do you want to do that more here? Now in the film business, direct, right?
Do everything, man. I can do anything. Anything's possible. So I do how I feel. Whatever, if I get an idea, I just do how I feel, and I understand if like I can't do it one up, I like create teams and collaborate. And a lot of times is I see something, if I got an idea and I see someone else has made it, I'm just happy that it exists. I do it because I'm doing it because I want it to exist. If it exists and someone else done it, I'm like, oh, thank God they did it.